Good morning, everyone. Happy new moon in Scorpio. This is a really beautiful new moon. I'm very excited about it. I'm super activated by it personally on my natal chart. Scorpio placements are going to be activated by this. Millennials are going to be activated by this. The water signs are going to be activated by this. And this is real, beautiful mastery energy. We're going to talk about the planets. I'm going to put up on the board all the aspects for this new moon. And like the title of the video states, this is and it's, the way that my brain sees things is very visual. So I just saw grown up energy or grow up energy. So that's why I posted it the way that I posted it. This is also slingshot energy when I was really checking in with my guidance team about what we were going to be talking about today. And it's mastery. Like I talked about in the Scorpio season introductory video, there is so much going on within the United States. This is warlike energy. This is just astrologically. I'm just speaking astrologically today. And so I don't want to entertain the hullabaloo. I just look right at me, kid. Look right at me. And we're really going to ground ourselves into this energy. We are going to be sovereign. We're going to speak from I statements and recognize that we are the grown up, regardless of our age. It doesn't matter. Some of the most divine beings that I've ever met on this planet are teenagers and 20-year-olds. It's why I offer my friends and family discount for one-on-one session to teens, tweens, and 20s, because they have these mastery skills and knowings, but they're in human bodies that a lot of the adults around them are saying, like, when I was your age, it's like, no, that world is over. That world is over. So my intention for today, I'll reel it back in, Sarah, is to offer the most accessible information going into this new moon. And so if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah. Welcome to my multidimensional cafe. This is you and I transcending time and space. I'm so grateful for YouTube. And we're just having coffee at sea. We're talking about the astrology. We, again, speak from I statements around here. We have a growth mindset, a leadership mindset. And a lot of what I do as a channeler is, when I'm talking to you, my guides show me images over here. I have a few different screens going on over here. It's like minimum 4 or 5 tabs going at all times as a sober 37-year-old gal, navigating the world in autumn of the North Shore in the east coast of the United States right now. We're doing our best. She's doing her best. What I'm going to be talking about is very quantum. So I'm recording this Monday morning. I'm going into a live at 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm probably going to post this tomorrow or the next day. I'm not really sure, as soon as I possibly can. And what I'm going to talk about in the live today is about the pivot and about really understanding that being authentic in an ever-changing world. And I talk about this a lot, but sometimes I don't implement it. So I'm going to stop talking about things that have not yet come to be or my offerings. I'm just going to offer them, because a few of the things that I've been talking about for a while are shifting and are pivoting to be more accessible for more people. And I recognize that my bigger goals and what I see for Sarah in the future, that is my focus. I know, I'm hearing it too, that I'm checking with my guides as to what I want to say. No, they want me to start with the astrology. And no, they don't. Okay, so basically, I'm a Scorpio rising. I have, the guides that are coming through today are Archangel Michael and my alien ET, the Divine Feminine Alien ET guide. And so I have a Q&A that I posted just a few days ago that, speaks to how I got to, someone asked me basically like who you channel. And I go right to source energy. I go straight to God, straight to the white light, straight to the space in space where consciousness resides. And that's where I get my messages. That's where I trust, because I, do all of my protocol and I bubble myself and I do all of the things. And my intention is to offer the highest and greatest information for all involved and invested. the guides that come through to deliver that information, sometimes it's literally source speaking and it's very pure. That happened, I think, in a few channeled messages recently. Sometimes it's specific guides, sometimes it's specific, beings that come through, but I work with Archangel Michael, so Archangel Michael has messages for us today, as well as my Divine Feminine ET, definitely very galactic energy. So I have tons of stuff to offer you today. We're going to go over the tarot that represents this decan of the astrological wheel. And so, just listening to my guides, I teach and preach. Nope, I'm going to go back. So I'm a Scorpio rising. My rising is at 12 degrees Scorpio. My natal Pluto is at 9 degrees, which is what we're talking about today. This new moon is conjunct my natal Pluto. So around this time period, every time the sun transits my ascendant sign, I take some time away from public and I really celebrate as if it's my own personal New Year's, because it is. And so what I recognized is that there was an offering that I've been talking about for months about intuitive listening. And, I have the new moon Zoom that is for this new moon. So as I post this, if you're keen to join that Zoom, that's happening on the new moon. And that will be at 11 Eastern Standard Time on the new moon. There's still space in that group. Definitely please email directly if you'd like to join that group. I think it's $53, I want to say, $53. And I spend 10 to 15 minutes looking over each of your individual charts. We talk about the astrology, and then we script together to kind of like create a synergy for it. And my intention has been for months to offer this intuitive listening Zoom. And the first time that I was going to have it was going to be on the 5th of November, on Tuesday. It's going to be a monthly Zoom and bringing people together that were keen for intuitive listening. What I'm recognizing is that not everyone has yet the freedom to take, hours off in the middle of the day to sit in a Zoom call and to do these things. I myself, how do I say? Like, I used to work Sundays. When I was in my 20s, I used to say, oh, no, I know God's talking to me, but I'm going to work on a Sunday. It's, good money. It's good paper. Nowadays, if I attempt to book a client or to do anything on Sundays, my physical body gets an illness. And so I listen to the God of my understanding, and I don't question that anymore. And so when things start popping up that prevent me from doing the things that I felt like you have to do it this way, that's my ego not listening to God, saying, what if you recorded this lecture style, sold it for, instead of being the intuitive listening Zoom, I think it was going to be like $37. What if you sold it for $11 as a lecture and people could buy it and listen to it whenever they wanted, Sarah? And then people get what it is that they need. They can email directly to ask questions. You get the time to spend with God during this transit that's very important to you, and everybody wins. What if you just did that and you made it a lot easier and you stopped trying to run into it's like the parable of the fly that Lewis Howes talks about a bunch, where it's like, have you ever seen a fly attempting to, just literally flying straight into a glass window pane and just literally about to die because it's like, I gotta get outside. And you're literally like, this was one freaking window pane. You have the whole door is open. Everything's if you just moved the tiniest little razor's edge, you'd have infinite space to do anything that you want to do. You just go outside. So I'm going to stop being the fly, and I'm going to listen to God and stop trying to do things. So I'm going to talk more about that in my live, which, definitely will immediately be posted. So onto my YouTube. So definitely it's going to be about authenticity and the pivot, which is kind of like rebranding failure to the pivot. So we're 9 minutes in. Let's pause the video. If you haven't already got your coffee or tea, go grab your coffee or tea. This is Nasha. This is my smoky quartz. Grab some water as well, your journal, and we're going to talk about the astrology of this new moon on the 1st of November. Grown up energy. Okie dokie. I'm going to give you the times and the dates of this new moon first, and then we'll get into the astrology. We'll talk about a really incredible trine, a grand trine, a water trine that's happening. Holy God. And yes, we'll talk about the dates, then we'll get into the aspects, and then I'll put all the things up, and then we'll talk about we'll do a channeled message, and then we'll talk about the tarot, or however, those are all the things on the to-do list for this video. So Eastern Standard Time, 1st of November, 8:46. Gold Coast in Australia, 1st of November, 22:46. Melbourne, I can't even tell you. When I was living in Melbourne, I couldn't stand it when people would just like all of a sudden be like, Melbourne. I'm asking my Australians, like it just bothered me. Because it's not like when you pronounce like chakra or prosciutto or like those, like it's not like, it doesn't lose its oomph if I say Melbourne, right? It's not like the only way to say it. It's not like a specific word that you have to pronounce in that way, because it bothered the ever-loving crap out of me when U.S. citizens were in Australia when I was living there, and they were like, American accent, American, Melbourne, and just bothered me. So please, to my Aussie friends, please comment below. I can say Melbourne, correct? But Melbourne, 1st of November, 23:46. Very few things bother me. And I know that I pronounce things like tomato. That actually started when I was living in Australia. I always, to this day, pronounce tomatoes as tomato. Because when I was living there, well, I would be speaking in just straight Boston. But if I pronounced it tomato, people would be like, you are not from around here. Something's off. But if I just said tomato in my normal accent, they just didn't bat an eye. I love language and accents so much. I'm setting intentions to go to Australia in 2025. And so for my Aussie friends, please hold that space with me. I'm really setting that intention to spend some time. And, I want to stay in the hotel where I used to live in South Bank on City Road. And like the apartment building that I lived in is also a hotel. So I want to stay there again. Oh my God. So I'm setting my intentions. Travel is a huge one to go on pilgrimage for 2025. I haven't shared this with many people yet, so I'm sharing it with you, my dears. Like, I want to go to Lisbon, Nuno. I would love to have a coffee with you. Like, there's so many different places that I'm keen to go to. So please, that's what I'm working on. I'm going to talk about that in the New Moon Zoom. And there's more things moving forward. Okay, Gold Coast, 1st of November. I already said that. Melbourne, 1st of November, 23:46. Central Standard Time, 1st of November, 7:46. So let's get into the astrology now. So this is the general astrological wheel behind me, which starts in Aries and is going to go all the way around over to Pisces. I have infinite, backstory information for you if you're interested. The Scorpio season video, the link for that is below. I also have an all signs reading for Scorpio season. I'm going to be doing 3 all signs readings a month. They're just very well received and people really get a lot of information. I love the way that I channel in that. So I'm going to offer that a little bit more. I'm changing so many different things up, but I just want to get going in this. I apologize. I've had coffee and I'm already on tea. I put the rose honey in it today. It's so good. I was up at 2:00 in the morning. I've been having really scary dreams, like really incredible nightmares lately. The past few nights, really intense, like terrifying, wakes me up out of it. Like my biggest fears are being, So I got up and had some Irish breakfast tea. Yeah, with coconut milk and honey first thing. And then I went right back to bed. Yeah, just worked on my 2025 guide and just went along with it. So let's get into the astrology. What do we know? And this is your chair. I'm just going to move it to the side for right now so I think you can see. Yeah, we're good. So what do we know about new moons? New moons is when the sun and the moon is in the same point in the sky. They're conjunct together. So where did the sun go? So this is going to be at 9 degrees of Scorpio, right over here in our house of deep transformation, death, rebirth, shared possessions. This is our Phoenix run house. Scorpio was run by Mars and Pluto. So yes, it's assertive, but it has to be transformative first. It's very Plutonian in energy, very, very, very intense. And Mars and Pluto are making an aspect to each other. So like the chart rulers for this are talking to each other in a full moon aspect. Okay, I'm just going to continue. There's so many tabs open in my brain right now, but it's Archangel Michael that keeps coming through. And I would love to offer his message and channel him first before we get going with this. So lovely. Like the energy of Archangel Michael is so beautiful. Mastery is walking away. Mastery is giving the fight to the other. Mastery is saying, let Michael protect you. Let me fight your battles. Give the delegation to your spirit team, to your spirit guides, to the God, to the source, to the spirit of your understanding, and work on bubbling and protection on yourself, and work on seeing through the clouds. Not through the clouds, but what is the image that you have decided is on the other side of the clouds, on the other side of the forest. What do you walk towards? What do you say to God, that is where I'm going, past the crazy, past the clear, past the moment inside myself where I feel confused, vision boards, scripting. These are all very helpful tools, and a lot of beings are finding spirituality after a very religious time, or religion after a very spiritual time. Go to the cafeteria that Sarah has presented and use that image in your mind to find God, source, spirit, and leave the devil where he lie. Label it, it is there, and laugh in its face. Let me use my sword. Let me use my fire. Go to the violet flames. Go to the depths of your own self and find courage. Mastery is a breath. Mastery is saying, no, I will not entertain and participate anymore. It's a fun start. I really like that. Thank you so much, Archangel Michael, for coming through, and thank you so much for offering that message to us. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So October 2024, that video was called The Depths. I will put that just because that was referenced. So I'll put the video, the link for that below, and, maybe do a debrief with yourself, beginning of November. How did I do? How did I not do? Maybe, no, I don't know. I'm trying my best. So deep transformation, death, and rebirth. So Pluto is a chart ruler and Mars is a chart ruler. We have an opposition of these two planets. So I have Pluto. Pardon me. This blouse is a freaking look and I love it. At 29 degrees over here. And I have Mars at 29 degrees over here. Now the exactitude of this comes on the 3rd, but they're both at 29 degrees. So it's at the very end, the critical degree or the anaretic degree of the 4th house of mother and the 10th house of father. Home, my pocket of the world, safety is key, legacy, public life, and career. I spoke of this in the all signs readings for Scorpio season. I'll put the link for that below. I spoke of that, not in every single, but if it was something that was really powerfully hitting the sign, I spoke of it. I did speak of it for Aries and I did speak of it for Scorpio. So definitely go check out that video. Bite-sized, bits going into the season. But what do we know about oppositions? This is full moon energy. What do we know? We speak in lenses because I wear massive glasses. So what do we know about oppositions? Full moon energy, wild, we are all cuckoo pants. What do we know about the 4th house? House home, what safety means to me. 10th house is legacy, public life, and career. What do we know about the critical degree, anaretic degree? This shows the shadow side of that house, of that sign. This is intense. This is intense. Go to your values. I've been talking about this for a while. If your value is honesty and having, emotional maturity, then don't pop off. Just don't pop off. Just don't pop off. Just try your best not to pop off. Just walk away and cry and just find a healthier expression of the emotion of anger. Don't bottle it down, but find a healthy expression of it. Yeah, it's not the person's in front of you responsibility that's triggering you to receive what it is that's coming out of your human body. You just say, thank you for that trigger. Thank you. A trigger is highlighting an area inside your psyche that needs cleaning. It's not there. This is grown-up energy. So this is me not mincing my words today and just saying this is no, you're triggered, grow up, walk away. This isn't a schoolyard battle. And let the outside world, when it comes to this community, I can speak to you. And if this is your first time here, know that what I'm saying is not doctrine. If this resonates with you, it's for you. And the way that I channel through can sometimes shoot pretty intensely. So just know that we like to be efficient in our processes. So once we recognize that you were the only one here. This is the theory of the egg. You are God having a human experience. So anytime you speak to another person, that's the way you're treating yourself. You treat someone with disrespect, you're disrespecting yourself. You treat someone with anger, you're getting angry with yourself. That's another you. So find gratitude, always go back to gratitude, fingers and toes, and say, thank you so much. Not out loud, but to yourself, say, thank you so much for that trigger. Thank you. That is such a displeasing human avatar experience. I'm so glad that I don't have to do that. Thank you for taking that on. I'm going to walk away and let you just be in the reality of your choosing because I love you, because I love myself and I love you enough to walk away. Yeah, this is intense. And so I'm going to leave Pluto up because we've already talked about Pluto, but that trine that I mentioned at the beginning is Mercury in Scorpio at 28 degrees, trining Mars in Cancer at 29 degrees. This, I know, usually it's a 1 degree orb that I do, but for this one, it's just too important to do. Trining Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees. This is really big. Mercury, okay, now again, we're going to talk in lenses. Mercury, our communication planet in Scorpio. There's I'm leaving you on red. I'm setting boundaries. At the energetic degree of Scorpio, there is, and I talked about this in the Aries All Signs reading, there's a lot of, I'm trying to find the right word. Okay, they're throwing some words up on the blackboard that I look at a chalkboard, basically. That's what my guides are showing me right now, which is, sexual promiscuity, narcissism, harassment, attachment, trauma bonds. There's a lot that's about to come out about people, and I forget what video I talked about it in, maybe the depths, maybe Scorpio season, but there's going to be, my guides had said, and none of this is doctrine, these are just channeled messages, and really depending on how the timelines shift, this is super duper quantum. These things could happen, they might happen, you might experience them in your immediate community, whatever it may be, but there are some real deep, dark, gross things, gross sexualizations that are coming about that maybe people have bit their tongue about. Maybe, people have been in fear and they didn't really know what to do about it. This could be a big time where the Band-Aid gets ripped off. Mercury in the anaretic degree, the last degree of Scorpio, that's a big deal. These are Scorpio, think of the scorpion's tail. This is toxins, poisons, all different that's all I'll say there. But very deep stuff. Trining Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces, very close to the Neptune is retrograde, pardon me. Soul purpose, healing, closure, coming home. A lot of the times when it comes to Neptune retrograde, I like that. It's beautiful because Neptune is illusion, disillusion. This is the rose-colored glasses getting ripped off and saying, actually, no, I'm not participating in this anymore. That's not okay. This is not okay. This is inappropriate. And then Mars, there's stuff, some people are going through some stuff at work right now, and I'm just saying it. There's a lot of financial. There's a lot of, my God, I love my guides so much. I'm so grateful for Source really just like shining through. I feel like my head is just open. And so a lot of people are recognizing that they have goals. Just like Michael was saying, just like Archangel Michael was saying, focus on the big goal, the freedom, the travel, the home ownership, the business ownership, the entrepreneurship, whatever that is, and leave behind everything that is around you. Leave it behind. Stop with the complaining, please. These little whispers of, oh my goodness, can you believe that broccoli costs this much at the grocery store? I can effortlessly afford the food that nourishes me. Start changing. Walking towards something and walking away something are two wildly different things. And I don't always, but since Michael comes through, I'm quoting scripture, but remember Lot's wife, truly. Don't look back. Look forward. Look forward. Look forward. Remember Lot's wife. Standing up for yourself. Pluto is not a part of this, but this Neptune, Mars, and Mercury. This is just, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love it. I'm just here for it. Venus. Now, there's no other aspects. Can you see it? Yeah, I think so. There's no other aspects that the rest of the planets are making. So I'm just going to put them all up from the inner planets, Venus, to the outer planets. So Venus is going to be in Sagittarius energy at 17 degrees, right over here. Quest, adventure, long distance travel, higher education. Mercury's going to go into Sag energy the next day. This is very fascinating. No means no. Ladies, that's literally it. No means no. No means no. There's a lot of fawn responses. There's a lot of freeze responses that are coming out, which is so fine, which is so okay. I'm experiencing this as well. So that's literally my trauma response is fawn and freeze. So I'm not coming at you. All I'm saying is that during this time period, recognize how you acted, go home that day, and say, okay, this is how I could get better. This is, I release this day, I release how I acted. And then instead of really mulling over it all the time, I want you to just be different. Just recognize one thing each day that you could act differently, be differently. And for my divine masculines that are watching, speak it. Speak it. Really recognize that your words and your assertion right now is necessary and important, and you don't have to. It's like the image that my guides are giving me right now is like there's this bar moment where this woman is just saying like, no thank you, I'm done, I don't want to talk to you, and then you come over and you're like, there's two different ways you could do this. You're like, I'm going to stand up for her and I'm going to fight this guy and I'm going to do this. Or you can go over and say, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. Put your arm around her and walk away since you've already asked the bouncer to take care of the man and that person's getting removed. You got to delegate, but be in your masculine. Be in your divine masculine and harness that Pluto and Mars energy. Say, I'm just a lion. Yeah, I'm a king. I'm not going to entertain this person. No, somebody else is coming. I already took care of that. And so very different vibrations. One is ego, one is mastery. So definitely think about that. Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini energy at 20 degrees right over here. Jupiter's been like nailing down at 21 degrees of Gemini. So it's finally at 20 degrees of Gemini. This is exciting. On the 2nd, we have a sextile that I mentioned in the October video. Where is Chiron? A sextile of Jupiter and Chiron. So this is awesome. Chiron is an Aries energy at 20 degrees right over here. I have it written down. Where is it? So this is the second of 3 sextiles that we get, which on the 12th of October, we had Jupiter sextiling Chiron at 21 degrees. Jupiter in Gemini, Chiron in Aries. Now, November 2nd, we have that sextile at 20 degrees. In 2025, on May 18th, we're going to have that sextile at 25 degrees. So this is 3 opportunities to really do something. Sextiles are like workable energy. It's like a nice free flowing, but the trine is your yes friend. It's like, yeah, do it. Yeah, pop off. Yeah, they're coming for your belief. They're coming for your safety. Yeah, scream at them. Oh, they said one thing conservative, so they're all this. Yeah, they said one thing liberal, so they're all this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's unhinged, my guy. Don't do that. Sextiles are like Jupiter, expansion, Chiron, our wounded healer, what we have to offer this world. This is, and I'm going to talk about it in my live today, so definitely go check out the replay of that. Jupiter is one of my like inadvertent chart rulers because my natal sun is in Aries conjunct Jupiter in Aries. So I forget that I can be very affected by Jupiter transits. This Jupiter transit is in complete opposition to my natal Saturn at 21 degrees of Sag. So my second, my eighth house, and my 8th house. This is a very fun time. But what I'm really recognizing, what came up for me around the full moon, and I'll talk about this more in the live, is that I'm not listening to my own advice all the time. I'm, saying, I have to be there for everybody. I have to be there for everybody. I have to be there for everybody. If I'm not there for myself, and if I'm not filling up my cup and my bucket, I can't give from an empty cup or an empty bucket. Ooh, pardon me. So filling up my own cup and my own bucket makes me better at what I do. So I'm going to really take this, and where is it? And this, oh, it's my natal Saturn, so my chart isn't up. And to check myself before I wreck myself. Everything that I do, I want sustainable. Everything that I'm putting together is so that I can do it at any place, at any time, anywhere in the world. That's my intention. God downloaded for me large things to do in 2025, and I'm so there for it. All fear dissipated the second I got the download. So I'm stepping into that very different vibration. You got this too. If I can do it, you can do it. Alrighty, Rooney. Let's do the nodes since I picked it up. We have the South Node in Libra. Can you see it? At 4 degrees. These are the mean. And I have the North Node in Aries at 4 degrees. I have Lilith in Libra at 13 degrees. Just gonna put everybody up. That's Saturn, retrograde Pisces at 12, and Uranus, retrograde Taurus, 25. Yeah, Uranus was parked at 26 degrees for a little while. So check where 26 degrees Taurus falls in your chart, see what Uranus is aspecting, check where Jupiter is falling in your chart, 21 degrees of Gemini, check your Sagittarian house, check what's happening over here. I'm just looking. Yeah, because on the 3rd, and I talked about this in the I think I talked about it in the All Signs reading. I talked about it in Scorpio season, where we'll have Jupiter in opposition to Venus on the 3rd. Big day. Astrological day, big day. That whole weekend, holy gosh, it's just astrologically alone. The 1st, 2nd, 3rd, huge, absolutely huge. So what do we got? How does it make you feel when you look at it? You don't have to know anything about astrology, but this is the rising sign here. So this is the self. This is the roots of the tree of our life. This is public life, and these are relationships. So it's kind of home, play, romance, everyday life, relationships, shared possessions with the relationships we've chosen, and then higher education. We're going into more public space in a fun way. Okay. My ET is coming through. She's talking about these are poignant script, like the flipping of the script. These are poignant times and poignant moments within the entirety of the planet and the awakening process. These are poignant script shifts, changes. There's a lot of energy that's like shaking the planet like a snow globe. And we feel scared. We might feel frustrated, confused. I don't want to use this word, but I'm going to use it because it's coming. We feel poor. There's a lot of people that feel very poor, and they feel helpless and standing in the energy of, I've given this tool to a lot of beings that shine, that have public stages that they're stepping on or, about to walk into. Whereas I want you, just like Scorpio sees as anything but casual. I want you dressing for success. I want you dressing like this at the grocery store, and I couldn't care less what you have to say about that. Just show up. Just absolutely show up. And so this is one of the most triggering things. I've lost clients because they weren't ready to do this, and this is a big deal. I want you dressing up and standing in the mirror and looking at yourself, and I want you to put on maybe applause, just like a soundbite of applause, and stand in the mirror and see how it makes you feel. And just look at yourself, like literally just look into your own eyes. Do you check the body language, see how you feel receiving that. And it doesn't have to make sense, but be in that vibration of, you dressing nice changes so much. It changes so much. And I've seen normal human beings that are just influencers, entrepreneurs, don't even have the spiritual language, that they're I started dressing nice at the grocery store. I started to dress nice on airplanes, and my entire life changed. For ladies, it's like that black cat energy, invoking the black cat, not the golden retriever energy. Yeah. The whole thing shifts, because how you treat yourself, let me rephrase, you show the world by the way that you put yourself together how you desire to be treated. You're showing the world, this is how much I love myself, how much I respect myself, how I feel about myself. Yeah, you can decorate your human avatar as much as you want to. Venus and Sag, we talked about this, is I've gotten certain piercings during that time, tattoos, all different fun things. People might be, getting haircuts or, switching up the vibe. Totally okie dokie. Do whatever you want to your human avatar. Do whatever you want. I'm not getting into it. I think a long time ago, I recorded a video about, body modifications, where's the line? I have a whole video on, it's a waking up post-woke discussion on, gender obsession historically comes before the fall of an empire. So I'll just gonna leave that there. That's it. So now let's get into the tarot, and my alien, she wants to do this first, and then we're going to talk a little bit more. Okay, so this is the minor arcana card that represents 0 or 1 degree of Scorpio to 10 degrees of Scorpio. So this is the card that represents the staking of the astrological wheel that this new moon falls in. This is a gate card. 5s are change. When you see 555, big things are coming, good things are coming, but it might feel a little bit like a square. It might feel very intense. It might feel a little bit but I've lost so much. This is Lot's wife energy. I want you to pick up these 2 cups, which it takes 2 cups to cheers, 2 of cups energy, and walk over the bridge. Your intuition, the water over here. And if you're interested, I have an entire Tarot Essentials program. The link for that digital products is below if you are integrating tarot into your daily life, because sometimes when these cards come up, you're I don't understand it. Look at the astrology. Everything is connected. Whatever lens you're looking at things through. This is a big one. I love my freaking alien ET so much. She's so good. She's wrapping something around that we talked about at that, the water trine of Mars and Neptune and Mercury. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. This is the Scorpio card. And we talked about this in the all signs reading, so I'm not going to repeat myself. This just represents the entire decan of Scorpio. How do you face this? And, in other decks, there's not even a name for it. It's just the nameless arcana. But remember that the white rose that death carries is behind everything. None of us leave this planet alive. None of us, it's not a physical death. This is an ego death. This is, how do we show up? How do we face each day? How do we sit and just say, what's the coolest thing that could happen today? What's the most magical thing that could happen today? And how can I match that energy? This is Manifestation 101. And it might be perceived, Pluto at the anaretic degree of Capricorn, that there's no hope. It's always darkest before the dawn. We know that. This is the court card that represents Scorpio. And so when this card comes up, I sometimes feel like two wildly different energies, depending on the intention that I've set for the reading. This could be, a movement of emotions. This could be me understanding a new foundation of emotions. If I'm confused and there's a situation that's going on, this tells me that there's a liar around. Fully. That my interpretation of this card is going to be wildly different than anyone else's. But for me, when this card comes up and when the Page of Cups reversed comes up as well, I'm like, someone's lying. There's someone that's lying. Something's deceived. It's really like he has the wings on his feet and over here, but he's just kind of stagnant. And he's just kind of looking over his cup where it's just like, there's something up. There's something up. So I pull 3 cards to ask myself, what's the medicine? If this comes up at the end of the reading, I pull 3 cards afterwards to say, okay, what's the medicine? What can I do about this? How can I navigate this? What can I, we see the map and we're in the woods and we know where we're going, but it's like, okay, what are my first few steps? What's 1, 2, 3? What can I do today that really gets me to where I'm meant to be, where I'm going? There's a lot of people that have been wronged in very quiet situations that God is always listening. Source is always listening. Spirit and your spirit team and your angels are always listening, and they see you. And sometimes as light workers, we put ourselves on the receiving end of a negative situation so that the situation itself can be processed through. What do you mean by that, Sarah? Sometimes we receive negativity from a person, whether it be a colleague or whether it be, random community member, a relationship, whatever it may be, where that person needed to receive karma in a way that we don't have to understand. What you give, you receive. The law of, karma, we know that, the universal laws of this, the universal laws, whereas what you give, you get. So some people need to give negativity to receive negativity so that they can kind of have the club lights turned on how negative that they are, and then receive that attention for their ego to finally shift and change and transmute. You as the light worker might have contracted that you're receiving negativity, whether it be poking, whether it be little things, whether it be, sexual abuse, whether it be sexual harassment. There's a lot of females right now that are stepping into their black cat, and there's big rolling chills for this, what I'm about to say. And you're trying to step into your divinity, and there's dudes that are just being disgusting around you. There's a lot, and this came up in Aries. So if any Aries placements, Aries rising, sun, moon, this might be happening for you. Just know that the up-ins are coming. You don't have to. What is meant to be done, you'll know in that moment when it needs to be elevated, when you need to call in, HR. You'll know when that comes to be. You'll understand what that message is. You'll know when enough is enough. You'll just keep saying no. No is a complete sentence. Mercury is involved over here. So we don't have to per our last email unless you have to per your last email. But really, when those moments come and you see yourself going into your fight, your trauma response, yeah, what is it? Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, sometimes fawn. Really just do not react. Be in that. Work on movement. Work on, I'm getting triggered. Oh my God, this is really scary. Just know that this is hitting your safety. It's hitting all the different things. Mars doesn't like to be in Cancer. All of these components. This is just some validation, but I'm just speaking to you across time and space saying you're not alone, whatever you're experiencing right now. This could be an X. This could be so many different things that are coming up. Libra, South Node in Libra, Lilith, Libra. Like really so much is happening right now for so many people. This could be family members. This could be, you know, a lot of people are really going into substance abuse or they're coming out of substance abuse. People are choosing, it's still Libra season as I'm recording this, like to lie, to really lie. Okay, the clock tower is right there and my belly is grumbling, so I know it's about time. Is there anything else? Lead with love. Love yourself first. Someone with a full cup and a full bucket that loves themselves and treats themselves with honor and respect isn't going to be a son of a nutcracker. So start here. Start with yourself. It's that great phrase, like, you can't save the world, you can only save yourself. But by saving yourself, you save the world. It's like planes going down. Put on your oxygen before you help anyone else. Help yourself before you help anybody else. And just keep standing in your truth. Stand in your truth. So much confusion is coming about. Jupiter in Gemini. All we want is the truth. Literally, that's it. There's people that I know on all sides of the political spectrum, all sides of the awakened, not so awakened spectrum, and literally every single person, I just want the truth, and then I'll decide for myself. Yeah. If the whole, we'll just do sports. I'll leave it with sports. If the whole thing is corrupt and there's a script and that it's more like, if I found out that football is more like wrestling, just tell me. Then I'll decide for myself what I want to do. But a lot of people really love wrestling. It's beautiful. Like, there's so much goodness to it. And then you can like be more ostentatious. But it's like, if we're living through the Hunger Games, tell me. And then I can decide for myself what to do. I think that's it. What questions do you have for me? Yeah. Please email directly if you want to sign up for the New Moon Zoom. That's happening on the 1st at 11 Eastern Standard Time. I'm capping it at 8 people. 6 preferred, 8 would be max. Please reach out. We'll have an all signs reading for this and a channeled message. The channel messages are coming through more and more in the videos, so they're starting to kind of saturate into this as well as into the all signs reading. So that's possibly something that I'm going to not pull back on completely, but actually for the new moon, I'll definitely do it for this one. Yeah. And I will have a November introductory video. It's going to be a great time. Right, hold on. Sometimes the titles just come through. I get so jazzed. What questions do you have for me? Please comment them below. Please email directly. Please reach out. Tons of products for you that are available. Astrological Starter Kit, Tarot Essentials, Self-Mastery Program. That Self-Mastery Program is a discounted rate right now. It's probably going to stay at $555 until Black Friday, and then I'm going to do another sale. So it's normally an $800 program, 6 chapters. When you're like really want to be efficient and just have as much information as possible, that program is for you. And I will have a 2025 guide coming for you starting on Black Friday. I'm very excited about that. I love writing it. There's going to be a workbook and an all signs reading sold separately. And then if you want to bundle them together, it'll be a discounted rate. Okay. Love you.